Story time. How your girl here ended up having dinner with Mew Superset. Yeah, that's right, the Mew Superset. That Mew. Like, what? Alright, so I was having dinner. I was meeting up. My friend was in town. She used to live in the city, but she doesn't anymore. It's funny because this friend used to run a pretty popular, I would say very popular podcast and K-drama blog. And we actually met through a Drama Fever event. So clearly it's been a while because there's no more Drama Fever. But nonetheless, so naturally we're getting Korean food. So we're in K-Town with a few of our other friends. You know, like we're all mutual friends now. It's been a bit, and I didn't even know Mew was in town until this friend told me. So I was like, so now it's like in my head. I was like, oh, that's funny. What if we bump into him and tell like, because they're both in New York now, and so we're eating dinner. We had just like started, and we're on the ground floor. This place has multiple floors. And I'm facing the entrance because I usually like to face the entrance, just so I can see my surroundings. And so, like when people walk in, I look and I see. Two guys walked in, and I looked up, and I was like, And then I was like, okay. And then they start. Right. So he walks in, and I'm like, oh. I was like, wow, that looks like Mew. OMG, that is Mew. And then he sits right next to me, like arm's length, right next to me. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, that's Mew. And he's right next to me. Like, this is insane. So then I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I tell my friends, I'm like, guys, that's Mew. And then, so nonetheless, I already had this talk with my friend about what we should do when we see celebrities, like one of our faves, and we were like, oh, we should buy them a meal or something like that. And I'm like, okay, we should buy them a meal. But then, so, jeez. Oh, this is going to take so long. But then I was like, you know what? Mew is richer than, like, everybody in this restaurant combined. I'm just gonna buy him a bottle of soju. I was like, I'll buy him some alcohol. I'll do that. So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. My friends were like, nah. And then they didn't think I was gonna do it. I sure did. Oh, see you in part. All right, so part 2. I'm gonna try to finish this up in part 2. All right, so that I was like, all right, I'm gonna go do it. So then I went up and I went to go to the Ajuma, and I was like, I want to buy a bottle of soju for that table. And I like say soju, that table, and then like pointing. And then it seems like she got it, so I go back and sit down. Ma'ams didn't get it. So I was like, all right, because I see her go to the other server, but it's a Korean restaurant, they're sharing. Nonetheless, so I go over, I literally was like, no, bottle soju, that table, my bill, that table, and then I point at the soju, and then, so nonetheless, so then it finally seems like she got it. So then I go back to my seat, she brings over the bottle, she puts it on the table, and then she walks away, and I was like, oh my God. I'm gonna have to go over there. So now I'm gonna go over there because this is gonna get messy because he's confused, his friend's confused, whatever. So I go over and I'm like, hey, like, hi, we're fans. This is actually for you. We're getting it for you. And he was honestly like the sweetest gem. Like the sweetest gem. Top experience with bumping into celebrities, and I bump into celebrities often. So let me finish this up in part 2, Cliff Notes version. So I go back to my seat. I think there's gonna, like, we say thank you, blah, blah. And then a little bit later, he turns around. It even took a hot second to get our attention. He's like, hey, do you want to have a drink? Do you want to take a shot together? And I was like, hell yeah. Mew asks you to take a shot, you take a shot. Oh, shit, this is not going to be done in part 2. And then, so I go get the glasses from the Anjuma. These people at the restaurant can't stand us. They're like, OMG. So we get the shots, and then I go, and then he like goes and pours the shots to each one of my friends and I, and he does like the two-handed pour. It's so sweet. And then his friend also films it, and I'm just like freaking out in this time. And then he was sweet anyway. And then like I go and sit down, and then we're like, he's asking about us, and then it's like it's a nice conversation stuff. And then he was like, I was like, I'm gonna be in Asia, I'm gonna go to Bangkok. And then he was like, okay, hope to see you there. And that's where my brain short circuits. But Mew, if let this get to you, I'm on my way to Bangkok. I'll be there soon. All right. Okay. So part 3 real quick. Yeah, so Mew, I'm on my way to Bangkok, and like let's meet up. But anyway, really, it was a great experience. He was a mensch, his friend was so nice. And I'm just gonna insert a video because it's up on his friend's blog and on his friend's channel. And here's the video of the whole experience. So like, yeah. Super cool, awesome. You and your friend. Oh, what a memorable experience! I'm telling you. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.